Here's the deal. In this country, when people are racist, they're anti-Semitic. Anti-Semitic, it goes hand in hand around the world. If they don't like you, they don't like me. They don't like me, they don't. What I'm saying, if Jews and blacks combine forces with our brains and money and your strength and speed, you know what I'm saying?
For those of you guys who've seen this show, you know how it goes. Now we're going to bring up a joke of ours that didn't work, okay? Any of the ones you started with?
Yeah.
Boss, you want to go next?
Okay, here's the deal. First, how do we get something to drink? Is there a beverage?
Get a water or something like that? Just a bottle of water would be good.
Do you have a bottle?
Thank you.
Okay, so I grew up in a black neighborhood.
Right.
So as a Jew, so throughout life, there's so many similar. Oh, thank you, man.
Thanks,
you.
bro.
If you want to put on your resume, you handed me water. Okay, yeah, just on your bio, you know what I'm saying? I handed Rich Vos water. This shit is real, motherfucker. No, so.
Go on.
What's that? Oh, I got it. Thank you. Oh, what are the odds? The Mexicans late. So I grew up in a black neighborhood in Plainfield,
right.
And there's throughout life, you know, and I'm not telling you anything you don't know. Black people have their own struggle, and people don't know. Jews, we don't really have a struggle, but there's so much anti-Semitism that I deal with, you know, just being anywhere. You know, like if I'm playing golf with people I don't know, I let them know I'm a Jew first somehow, so I don't hear some fucking Jew thing. You know what I mean?
Isn't that weird though?
Yeah.
Telling people you're Jew everywhere you go.
Oh, well, I'll pull out my Star of David, or you know, or I'll have them pay for lunch. So I don't know why. So I came up with this dumb. I mean, a bit. I like it. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. And what I'm saying is, so I go, look, I want to talk. First I go blacks and Jews, you know, because my daughter lives with a black, whatever. I go, look, blacks and Jews, you know, if you're racist, you're anti-Semitic. It goes hand in hand.
Right.
And I go, if we combine forces, Jews, with our brains and money and their strength and speed, nobody can fuck with us, you know what
Right.
So, well, that's kind of racist.
Wait, but aren't we already doing that?
You know how fast you could not reach for a check?
You know what it is? See, here's the thing. Everybody in comedy now is like, oh, you gotta do this. You can't walk the line. You can't be edgy. You can't be. And I've always been a fucking ass or do what I want. And that's why I end up at 12 o'clock in a four-seater. But I'm only kidding. I'm not dishing the show. Thank you. So I said, look, I go to one and said, look, let's talk about slavery real quick. And I go, well, wait a second.
I'm waiting.
We've been waiting 400 years for this!
So no, but here's the thing. Why didn't you tell me it was the Lucas Brothers? I would have came with another bit. I got a lot that don't work. So I go, look, let's talk about slavery. And I go, look, you know, people know, look, when I go to somebody and say, what do you want to talk about? Nobody ever yells slavery.
Right.
But I go, here's the deal. Blacks and Jews were both slaves. We were both slaves. Jews were slaves in Egypt for 200 years. They say 400, but the fucking Jews exaggerate. You know what I mean? They try to fucking squeeze everything out. And blacks were slaves throughout not only the South, but throughout the country, picking cotton. People think it was just down south. It was all over for 200 years. But the difference is, and this is where blacks are ahead of Jews, when a Jew slave working on a pyramid could have been working on one hallway their whole life.
Yeah.
Their whole life, from sun up to sundown, right? Working on that hallway, and died before that hallway was complete.
Yeah.
No closure, no self-satisfaction, just dead. At least a black slave got to see somebody wearing a sweater and go, That's my work.
That's great. That's excellent. That's excellent. That's great. That's great. I love it. That's fair. That's fair.
What? It's not,
Great.
look, it's positive.
And that gets pushed back? People.
Sometimes, see, I don't want people. Look, you know, when you do something, you know, whatever, you want people. First of all, you want a mixed crowd, so you get everybody laughing. And then second, I see a white person look to see if a black person's laughing, I fucking lay into them because those fucking pandering assholes wouldn't even fucking hang out with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just fucking white, fucking. Anyhow,
You know what I like about that joke though is the setup is the fact that it's long actually helps the joke because everyone gets uncomfortable. Even like I was looking at Andrew, who is fucking hard to offend, and he was like, "Where the fuck are we going with this thing? This isn't
I was not uncomfortable at all.
Yeah, you're the only comfortable.
I felt like I was in the fucking hallway in that pyramid, bro.
It's kind of hard to take advice from someone who's down 220,000.
Yeah, whenever someone like me says that's a good
Go
joke,
for it. Keep
that
it
means
up.
You are so fucked. That means the fucking First Amendment just ended now.
No, but like.
So let's say they owe, right? Let's say they owe. I think when a crowd owes, it's a great opportunity to break them.
Yeah.
Because usually the owe is like, I'm uncomfortable, and then the tag is where they give it up. So maybe there's something after the sweater. Maybe it's at least I have a sweater, and then the tag is really where you
That's
fuck
my
it.
work.
Yeah.
And then.
It's like, that's my work. And be like, just kidding. They didn't have sweaters down south. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Another flip.
There's got to maybe something after it to maybe soften it a little.
Dude,
Yeah.
hold on, I can't even go.
To soften it.
You can't. So I don't think you can soften that.
You should end that bit with a moral. Like, yeah, and with like a Hannah Gadsby moral, like with soft music.
Or maybe do
spiritual?
Do the bit and be like Aziz, but apologize before it.
Guys, I'm really sorry for this next thing.
Yeah.
Guys, what would you tag it with?
I would say something like the moral of the story is I think we need to enslave Mexicans. Because it's a positive ending of slavery, so you know, it's an argument.
So
how I
like
read
they
the joke.
haven't had their,
They haven't had their moment.
because they're not
I
looking.
think this is their moment. Oh yeah, this is their moment.
This is their
Yeah,
moment.
yeah.
But you don't think that they look at like tortillas like we did. You know what I mean? Like, what is their thing?
Well, they get paid for it. I mean, something. They get paid something. They do get.
Yeah.
That's
There's got
right.
to be something.
don't know.
Look, sometimes it gets laughs. Sometimes it's just people that stare. And so, like, then you'll get the racists that go, yep. Those are the ones you don't want.
That's the worst part. When they agree with the premise, they're on board.
I don't like that.
You say no more, brother.
Here's the deal. In this country, when people are racist, they're anti-Semitic. Anti-Semitic, it goes hand in hand around the world. If they don't like you, they don't like me. They don't like me. What I'm saying, if Jews and blacks combine forces with our brains and money and your strength and speed, you know what I'm saying? And here's another thing, too. Here's another thing. Because we were, Jews and blacks were both slaves, all right? I'm going to talk about slavery, and I know a lot that makes people uncomfortable. Because whenever I go to somebody in the audience, what do you want to talk about? Nobody ever yells slavery. But here's the deal with slavery, all right, and going back years. Jews and blacks were both slaves, okay? Blacks were slaves for 200 years on the plantation, okay? Not just down south, throughout the country of America. Jews were slaves for 200 years in Egypt, they say 400, but Jews fucking exaggerate, you know what I mean? So Jews were slaves for 200 years in Egypt building the pyramids. But here's the difference where you come ahead. A Jewish slave could have been working on a pyramid, say just the hallway, one hallway, right? Their whole life. from sun up till sundown, working with those fucking big bricks on that hallway, and died before that hallway was complete. No closure, no self-satisfaction, just dead. At least a black slave got to see somebody wearing a sweater and go, that's my work right there. As long as we don't pick linen, that's my work. Folks, what? You know what I'm saying? But that's a good point. It's where you guys win. Now, I can't end on that because it seems a little rough. Let's talk pedophilia right now. Good night. Thank you.
Rich Vos, everybody. Rich Vos.